21-piece orchestra and just the whole professionalism as well, very needed in today's world. I loved watching her every night, the Waiters Gala.
Hello Dolly.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel! My name is Leo and I am a musical theatre performer. Today we will be talking about my experience as an ensemble member in Hello Dolly at the London Palladium. This show is my dream show and I watched it on Broadway in 2017, I believe, with Bernadette Peters and Charlie Stem, and I absolutely loved it. This show is what made me pursue my career. This musical hasn't been in the West End since the 80s. So to have it brought back here to the UK was such an incredible and amazing thing to do. And just to bring the magic of grand and legit style musicals. So with this production, what makes it so different and so, in my opinion, so very moving in 2024 is the fact that, yeah, first of all, the classic story of Hello Dolly and the music. Like Hello Dolly, the title number is very well known for. So we had a 21-piece orchestra, and no show has that these days anymore. It was really nice to have that texture that we haven't had in theatre, because you only find that in like classical music nowadays. We had a stellar cast. The cast was just incredible to work with, and I got to work with people that I've been wanting to work with, so very grateful. It just felt all like a fever dream. I made a family in Hello Dolly, and there was 36 of us in the cast, so big cast. This show was actually cast pre-COVID, pre-pandemic. People have worked in the industry, people who have really just, I've learned from a lot, especially Imelda Staunton as well. Most incredible leading lady. Learned a lot from everyone. No words can describe it for me. So this run was only a 10-week run, with 2 of the weeks being previews. It was a limited run. I'm hoping that one day this version of our show will come back. I think it's very needed in today's world. So the audition process, I was currently in a previous job at the time, and luckily it landed on our 1-week break. So this production was already cast pre-pandemic. 3-4 years later on, obviously there are some people who might not have been able to do it anymore, so they needed to cast more people, and they're only looking for certain tracks. There's a 1-week window last year to audition, and I believe there was another week later on in the process. I went in 3 times. The first day, so it was a dance into singing round, but people would have got cut. And then the second day I came in, it was working with script and one of the material. And the third one was looking at the song and script again, but a dance final. It was really fun because the creative team, our musical director, wanted to make us dance and sing at the same time. And I was just so excited because I love the show for the life of me. And to be singing and dancing in an audition, I was like, oh my gosh, it's such a fun thing to do. I was just living my best life. I think it was 2 weeks later or much later, that's when I found out that I got the job, and I was just bawling my eyes out. When my agent told me, I was just absolutely relieved from all this waiting and this tension built up inside me. It got to that point where I just told myself, if I got in, amazing. If I didn't, amazing, because I could still see my dream show. It was really nice to just have that euphoria. Months later, it was announced. Skip on to the rehearsal process. Now, the rehearsal process took 6-7 weeks. I can't even remember, 7-8 weeks. And it was a long rehearsal process because we were building the show up from the ground, essentially, because we weren't doing it based off the Broadway show entirely. The director and the creative team really pulled focus from all the sources from where Hello Dolly came from. So that's the Matchmaker play, the film version, the Broadway version. So all these versions, they pulled out so much more detail and so much more history to make this version of our show. That bled into the arrangements of the music and the orchestrations, but also the way that it was approached. So we started off in the foundations of it all and really digging up about the people of Yonkers and what they'd stand for and who they were, and their relationship. Just like digging up info from these sources to really create this grounded and raw, real, honest piece. Because everyone knows Hello Dolly is very fun and very upbeat, but I think our version definitely included more moments of that grief and sadness, but in a really balanced way. Like the orchestrations, for example, the big changes were so the beginning, usually it's I put my hand in here and call on Dolly. In our version, Dolly Levi sings, I have always been a woman who arranges things. That bit from I put my hand in here. And then we added Just Leave Everything to Me and then put Call on Dolly at the end, which has never been on a stage version before. So it's really special to put that in. Start the show with an incredible drive. And my favourite, Dame Imelda Staunton. I loved watching her every night singing as much as I can because I was in the next scene after. But I loved watching Love Look Through My Window, and it was an absolute dream of a song. That song really captures this whole story and how she came to be, and that she's looking for love, you know, and that no matter what age, no matter what situation, she still wants that love for herself as she's a widow. I believe Ethel Merman sang it on one version, and that's about it. But yeah, it was really special to put that in. Sets and props. Now, my favourite set was definitely the train. The train was amazing, you guys. And if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I think because it was a mixture of the projection as well as the actual train that we had on stage. This train was split in different parts in order for it to fit in the wings. It was amazing to see that train. It was pretty magnificent to see out front because it looked like it was traveling, like for real, and the steam coming out of it as well. So it was really magical to see that. Alongside this train was a travelator. The use of the travelator. So we use this travelator to get this whole idea of travel and traveling to a place, having an intention to go to somewhere for these characters, and this whole motion and this whole drive getting to point A to point B. Another piece of set that I loved was the Harmonia Garden stairs. It was so grand yet so quirky because it waved down rather than it being straight bang in the middle, and it came up from the wing, and it just gave so much more depth for things to play with. And we even had a platform in the middle of the stairs in order to dance on it. And also the booths, they were pretty cool because there was a rope that you could tug inside the booth and outside, so you could open and close the curtain. So that was pretty cool. My favorite prop was, it was such a challenge. So before the parade passes by, at the end of Act 1, some of us have these banners, and my friend and I really had to work together in order to keep the banner still. It's just a teamwork effort with that because it's slightly heavy as well. Oh yes, I loved one of the girls' balloons costumes. So my favorite costume was probably the waiters. Although we sweat in the costume so much, it was a lot of fun to be in it. It had this velvety smooth texture on the long jacket. And yeah, it looked really smart and so movable and so stretchy. The trousers we had were so stretchy, which was nice. I had a hat for my Sunday best costume. So that was cute. We all had different ribbons and hat colours for those, so that was cute. I will say I love all of it. My opening costume, because it had a lot of colours and different layers, and I love my layers. Layering with clothes. Our retailer costumes. So in the parade, they were all in different groups. So there were like teachers, housemaids, midwives. Oh my gosh, midwives, us retailers, and there were other groups as well. And we had a fez, so that was really cute. And it was really nice to have that moment with everyone at the end of Act 1. So grand, so good. This show marked my West End debut, so there were two of us, and it was truly special being in this venue as well. Short and sweet, I think that's the words to sum it up. So working with the Dame Imelda Staunton was an absolute pleasure. Very grateful for her. She's so grounded and she's actually so funny as a person, and so clever. witty, but also it was so nice to see how she would command a room as an actor because she's got this good relationship with the creatives already. She justifies or she helps with what her character could do. And how much she cares for everyone as well. We spoke about we're all in this together, like the whole company was absolutely, every single one of us were there for the same reason, and that was because we were responsible to hold this show, but also because we loved to do what we do, and that really showed with the whole team morale from the creatives into the cast as well. So it was really nice to have that sense of tight belongingness, and holding out for each other as well. That woman may be small in height, but she is so courageous and so brave in the way she is. And yeah, it was an absolute pleasure working with her. The whole cast was just amazing. As I've said before, just the whole professionalism as well. So we had 2 weeks of previews and then 8 weeks rest of the show. So on the press night, so fun because so in the Harmonia Garden scene, we have the trays as waiters, and I dropped my tray. And I have dropped it, I think it was twice throughout the whole run, but I dropped it on press night, made a loud bang. Luckily it didn't, like, you know how when you drop something, sometimes it will just like circle off, but it literally landed flat, silent. Yeah, that's just live theatre and my slippy fingers. It was just so phenomenal to see so many people that I've looked up to come and watch, people from the industry, and it was just surreal to see them in the audience. A full circle moment when Bernadette Peters came to watch us as well. Idol. But yeah, on press night, it was the most magical, electrical experience I've had in my life. So when the curtains came up at the beginning, everyone's clapping, and we got that most nights, if not every night. After the waiters gallop, we'd hold our trays in our last pose, and then we stood there for a whole minute, maybe even more, just held that applause, that whole crowd just buzzing, and we were so excited. And yeah, I couldn't quite believe like where I was. I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like the joy of just being on the stage and getting that applause, and the whole atmosphere of the audience and everyone with you on stage. It was so magical. And then it was the one that got me was after Hello Dolly, guys. It was, I tell you, it felt like 10 minutes, probably like 2 minutes, but that feeling of, wow, like this is what it feels like to be on this stage and to be in such an iconic show with such iconic people. And I was, yeah, about to tear up because it held you so much. That feeling of like, little me would be so proud right now kind of thing. Because we got a lot of great reviews the day after. So yeah, it was amazing, amazing, amazing show to be part of. With the first to last show, obviously like it changed in a good way. Like there were so many tweakings, and also during previews, and also like just the whole show being settled in our bodies. As I mentioned in another video, a first show is so different from its last show because, you know, it's always breathing, it's always living, as long as the actors and creatives let it. My family especially watched it 3 times and they loved it every single time, but they noted how much it had changed and how much more settled. In the last show, I completely bawled my eyes out. I didn't know how emotional I would get. It was just the last applause of the Hello Dolly number. I want this to last forever, and I'm grateful for the 2 boys who helped me in the wings. If you watched our show, please let me know what you guys thought, or any questions about this whole experience, or just about Hello Dolly in general, being a performer as well. Leave them down in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I shall be back with more videos every Monday. So thank you guys for watching. Peace.